Hi viewers, welcome back. This is special series on separation. Part 1, procedural separation. Reference is Doc 4444 PANS ATM. Separation is a generic term for the action to be taken by air traffic controller to keep aircraft operating in a common area at such distances so that risk of collision is reduced. Or in other way, separation means no two aircraft should be at same place at same time at same level. Classification of separation. Separation is classified into two, vertical and horizontal. Horizontal separation is further classified into lateral separation and longitudinal separation. No clearance shall be given to execute any maneuver that would reduce the spacing between two aircraft to less than the separation minima applicable. And larger separation than the specified minima should be applied in exceptional circumstances during navigation difficulties faced by aircraft, bad weather, or on pilot request. Degraded aircraft performance and action by pilot and air traffic controller. Flight crew shall advise the air traffic control unit concerned without delay about the degraded aircraft performance. The air traffic controller should take action to establish another appropriate type of separation or separation minimum. Loss of separation. When a controller is faced with a situation in which two or more aircraft are separated with a less than prescribed minimum due to a reason other than ACAO's RA, then controller has to use every means at his disposal to obtain the required minimum with least possible delay, and he has to pass essential traffic information to the commanders of both flight concerned. Vertical separation exists when the vertical distance between aircraft is never less than the prescribed minimum. Between aircraft flying up to flight level 290, apply 1000 feet between two aircraft. Above flight level 290, apply 2000 feet separation between two aircraft, except that between flight level 290 and flight level 410 inclusive, if it is defined as RVSM airspace and the aircraft are RVSM approved aircraft, we need to apply only 1000 feet separation. Vertical separation is obtained by assigning different levels selected from the table of cruising levels in Appendix 3 of Annex 2. From 000 degrees to 17 degrees, if the aircraft is flying in this direction, this is eastbound, all the levels will be odd levels, and VFR levels are separated from IFR levels with 500 feet, and VFR levels will start from 3500, thereafter 5500, all levels are odd levels, 3, 5, 7, and they are separated by 500 feet, so 5500 feet, 7500, and so on. IFR flight levels are odd levels. If aircraft is flying from 000 degrees to 17 degrees, which is eastbound, 1000, 3000, 5000, 7000, 9000, flight level 110, and so on. If aircraft is flying in a direction of 180 degrees to 359 degrees, this is known as westbound, and all the levels will start from even levels. So VFR levels will start from first letter. If you'll see, it is 4, 6, 8, and they are separated by 500 feet. So 4500, 6500, 8500, and so on. IFR levels will be 2000, 4000, 6000, 8000, 10,000. Thereafter flight level 120, 140, and so on. Assignment of cruising level for control flights by air traffic controller. Cleared level should confirm with lower level of the route cleared. If IFR aircraft maintaining lower than minimum flight altitude, then climb the aircraft above the minimum flight altitude so that IFR flight should be clear of the obstacles. An aircraft may be cleared to change cruising level at a specified time, place, or rate. Assign levels as per approach sequence. So if aircraft is number 1 in approach sequence, allot him lower level, and so on. Aircraft maintaining that level shall have the normally have the priority. So suppose if two aircraft are requesting level and one aircraft is already maintaining that level, so the aircraft which is maintaining that level will be having priority over the aircraft which is requesting that level. And suppose if both aircraft are maintaining level, so the preceding aircraft will be having priority over that level. So if we need to change the level of the aircraft, then we have to change the level of the succeeding aircraft. Vertical separation during climb or descent. An aircraft may be cleared to a level previously occupied by another aircraft after a later has reported vacating So this simply means that suppose if one aircraft is maintaining flight level 240, controller has given that aircraft descend to flight level 110, and that aircraft is reporting that leaving flight level 240 for flight level 110. So this 240 level will be allotted by a controller to the next aircraft. But in three circumstances, he will never do it. If severe turbulence is existing, if the aircraft concerned are entering into the same holding pattern, or there is a difference in the aircraft performance. Lateral separation is obtained by requiring operation on different routes or in different geographical locations as determined by visual observation, by use of navigation aids, or by use of area navigation equipment. Lateral separation distance shall not be less than an established distance. Established distance accounts for navigation inaccuracy plus a specified buffer. The buffer shall be determined by the appropriate authority. When track separation is considerably more than the minimum figures, state may reduce the distance at which lateral separation is achieved. Now we will see what actual lateral separations are. So lateral separation is obtained by requiring operations on different routes or in different locations. This we have already discussed, and it is determined by visual observation or by use of navigation aids or by use of navigation equipment, RNAV area equipments. Now first one, geographical, by position reports. So this lateral separation is achieved by position reports, which positively indicates the aircraft are over different geographical locations as determined visually or by reference to a navigation aid. Lateral separation based on navigation aid, VOR. Both aircraft are established on radials diverging by at least 15 degrees, and at least one aircraft is at a distance of 50 nautical mile or more from the facility. If both aircraft are within 50 nautical mile of the facility, then only vertical separation will apply. Lateral separation based on navigation aid, NDB. Both aircraft are established on tracks to or from the NDB, which are diverging by at least 30 degrees, and at least one aircraft is at a distance of 50 nautical mile or more from the facility. Lateral separation based on navigation aid, GNSS. Each aircraft is confirmed to be established on a track with zero offset between two waypoints, and at least one aircraft is at a minimum distance from a common point which is specified in table below. So we need that the two aircraft should be on a tracks whose angular differences between track measured at the common point is from 15 degree to 135 degrees, both inclusive. And if aircraft are operating below flight level 1 and 0, distance from a common point will be 15 nautical mile if they are using GNSS, and when they are using DME, then this distance should be 70 nautical mile. If the aircraft are operating at or above flight level 1 and 0, the distance from a common point should be 23 nautical mile. If DME is utilized for the range information, then at or above flight level 1 and 0, the lateral separation should be of minimum 25 nautical mile. So aircraft should be 25 nautical mile apart. So with this GNSS separation, both aircraft are capable of GNSS navigation, and the track difference, angular track difference between the two aircrafts track at a common waypoint is 15 degree to 135 degrees. And when they are operating below flight level 190, it will be 15 nautical mile or 70 nautical mile if DME is utilized for range information, 23 nautical mile at or above flight level 190, and it will become 25 nautical mile if DME is utilized for range information. Similarly, if suppose one aircraft is using VOR and the other aircraft is using GNSS, so same table will be utilized here. The angular difference between the tracks measured at the common waypoint is from 15 degrees to 135 degrees, and rest of the values will remain same. Like 15 nautical mile below flight level 190 if GNSS is utilized, and if DME is utilized, it will increase to 70 nautical mile. And at and above flight level 190, distance from common point will become 23 nautical mile. If they are 23 nautical mile apart, they are using GNSS distance for this, then they are laterally separated. If they are using DME separation for range, if they are using DME for range information, then once they are 25 nautical mile apart from a common point, if they are at or above flight level 190, then they are deemed to be laterally separated. Lateral separation of aircraft on published adjacent instrument flight procedures for arrivals and departures. Here, two values are important, which we have to remember. One is 7 nautical mile and other one is 5 nautical mile. So if we have published instrument approach charts like DME charts, VOR charts, then we have STAR, SID, SID. Then for that, what kind of separation is to be applied is written here. So as per para number A, if we have a combination of RNAV1 with any of RNP1, RNP approach or RNP authorization approach, then the distance, lateral distance should be of minimum 7 nautical mile. So if you will see SID and STAR in which these combination will be there, then minimum 7 nautical mile lateral separation will be there. Then only you can expect a climb or descent in the chart. As per para number B, where the distance between any combination. Now here we are not talking about RNAV1. We are starting with RNP1, then RNP approach or RNP authorization approach. If these combinations are there, then track should not be less than 5 nautical mile. So here 5 nautical mile. If RNAV1 is included, then it will become 7 nautical mile. Then lateral separation of aircraft on parallel or non-intersecting tracks or ATS routes. So here, if you will see the table in the left hand side, so first is given airspace where strategic lateral offset procedure is not authorized, or if it is authorized, it is only up to half nautical mile. Then the second column is airspace where strategic lateral offset procedures are authorized, but up to of 2 nautical mile. So if this is the case, and navigation system which we are using is RNAV10, RNP4 or RNP2. In this case, in both airspace where strategic lateral offset is not authorized or where authorized, it will be 50 nautical mile minimum spacing is required between the two parallel tracks. If two ATS routes are separated by 50 nautical mile and those ATS routes are RNAV10 routes or RNP4 routes or RNP2 routes, then they are laterally separated. We can keep two aircraft at same level 50 nautical mile apart here. Now we will go to the second. So second one is saying if we have a navigation system of RNP4 and RNP2, but here performance requirements are desired, communications are RCP 240 and for surveillance RSP 180. If this is available, then we can reduce this 50 nautical mile of lateral separation to 20 nautical mile where strategic lateral offset procedures are not authorized, and it will become 23 nautical mile where the strategic lateral offset procedures are utilized. And so it simply means if two ATS routes are there, if they are those routes are RNP2 or RNP4, parallel routes are there. If we have a performance requirement for communication RCP 240 and surveillance RSP 180, then if strategic lateral offset procedure is not authorized, then if 20 nautical mile is available between two parallel routes, they are deemed to be laterally separated. And if strategic lateral offset procedures are authorized but not more than 2 nautical mile, then if they are 23 nautical mile apart, then they are separated, laterally separated. Similar way, they have given a table for next one, RNP2, where GNSS equipage is required. In that case, also 20 nautical mile and 23 nautical mile. If suppose we have RNP2 or GNSS equipage with direct controller pilot VHF communication, so 20 nautical mile will reduce to 50 nautical mile and 23 nautical mile this is not applicable. So only 50 nautical mile where strategic lateral offset procedures are not authorized, or if authorized, it is only up to the half nautical mile. Then if RNP4 and RNP2 are there and RCP 240 and RSP 180 performance requirements are available, in that case 50 nautical mile will further reduce to 9 nautical miles. And if we'll go further enhancement of RNP2 or GNSS equipage with direct communication, controller pilot VHF communication, then this 9 nautical mile will reduce to 7 nautical mile. This happens in our SIDs and stars in approach phase. Now, we have previously we have discussed about non-intersecting parallel tracks. Here we will talk about the when lateral separation of aircraft when they are on intersecting tracks. So when an aircraft converging or diverging from the track of another aircraft, they are deemed to be laterally separated after passing a lateral separation point that is located at a specified distance measured perpendicularly from the track of another aircraft. So from this, if you will see, suppose this is our aircraft and this is our point. So this D is the distance to or from the intersection point. Similarly, this D is aircraft is going after crossing. It has came to this side. So again, this is the D. So and we have another aircraft which is coming like this, and this distance will remain same D. And after the intersection, this second aircraft is going like this. This distance is again D. Now, after this distance D, a perpendicular distance L. This is the desired lateral separation. And from this D point, we will make a perpendicular L on this track. So this is the required lateral separation. So if we have intersecting tracks, so this is the calculation which we have to use. And simply for RNAV or RNP 10, we need 50 nautical mile. If these two are 50 nautical mile apart, then these are separated. So simply it means that from this these diamond points, beyond this they are separated, they are laterally separated, but between these points we need to apply vertical separation. So this is the table which we have to use for RNAV 10 and RNP 10. Separation is required 50 nautical mile. If we are going RNP 4, this will reduce to half, approximately half, 23 nautical mile. If we are going to RNP2, then this will become 15 nautical mile. Longitudinal separation by maintaining an interval between aircraft operating along same converging or reciprocal tracks, which are expressed in terms of time or distance. So when we are talking about horizontal separation, and in that we are discussing about longitudinal separation, we have to understand three basic terms, which is same track, converging, or reciprocal tracks. So for establishing longitudinal separation, we have to require, ATC will require that aircraft will depart at a specified time so that time separation will be achieved. To arrive over a geographical location at a specified time for same purpose, and he will require to aircraft to hold over a geographical location until a specified time so that the required longitudinal time based or distance based separation will be achieved. So as we have discussed that three important terms we have to understand for longitudinal separation, which are same track. So same track, then the second one will be crossing track, and third one will be the reciprocal track. So same direction tracks are aircraft which are following same direction. They will their tracks will be intersected, and the angular difference of which is less than 45 degrees or more than 315 degrees, and protected airspace of these two aircraft will overlap. So you just understand that our first aircraft is at a star position and the second aircraft is coming via white portion. So the track difference between these two is less than 45 degrees. If you will consider the right side, it is 45 degrees to 000 and from 360 to 315. So it is more than 315 degrees but less than 45 degrees. So aircraft, if it is approaching from this right direction from 045 to 360, from 360 to 315, then this will be treated as same track aircraft. And suppose first aircraft is going in any direction. So you find out the track of first aircraft and subtract 45 degree and add 45 degree both sides. So that will become same track aircraft. Reciprocal track. So it is opposite of what we have discussed. So same track is following same direction. So here it will be opposite direction. So first aircraft is at our star position, center position, and the second aircraft is approaching from the opposite direction. And what will be the track difference? The track is from 135 to 225. And here also the protected airspace of both this aircraft will overlap. So in this reciprocal track, if you will see the left side, a white figure, the second aircraft is approaching opposite direction of the first aircraft, and their tracks are intersecting, and the angular difference between the tracks is 135 degrees to 225 degrees. So this second aircraft is reciprocal to the first aircraft. Then what is crossing track? So here, if you will see the white portion, there are two white portion and two shaded portion. So the first right shaded portion is same track. Then if you will see the left side shaded portion, it is reciprocal track. And the remaining two white shaded portions, these are crossing tracks. So tracks which are not same direction track and reciprocal track will be considered as crossing tracks. So crossing track we will define as like this. The track difference is more than 45 degrees but less than 135 degrees, or it is greater than 225 degrees but less than 315 degrees. So these track differences will be under crossing tracks. Now we will discuss longitudinal separation. These are classified into two, time-based or distance-based. So first we will discuss time-based longitudinal separation. So in this we have to see that aircraft are climbing or descending, or they are maintaining a level, or they are same direction or opposite direction or crossing tracks. So based upon that, the separation will change. So first, this table will give us a complete understanding that what sort of separation we are going to apply when the first column is showing us the aircraft are maintaining same levels and they are same track. So same level means flight level. If one aircraft is maintaining flight level 200, the other is also maintaining flight level 200. Same track, both aircraft are going in same direction, which is 45 degrees maximum plus minus of the track of the first aircraft. So if we will see the minimum separation is 15 minutes first. If both aircraft are separated by a distance of 15 minutes, then they are longitudinally separated. In second one, this minimum separation can be reduced to 10 minutes, provided we have radio navigation aids, and with the help of that, we are able to determine frequent position and speed of both aircraft, so that this minimum separation of 10 minutes will not be infringed. Then further we will reduce it to 5 minutes, provided the first aircraft, preceding aircraft is 20 knots or more faster than the following aircraft. Then this 5 minutes can further be reduced to 3 minutes for same track, same level, provided that preceding aircraft is 40 knots or more faster than the following aircraft. Then same cruising level and crossing track. So whatever we have discussed earlier is applicable here also, but only 15 minutes and 10 minutes. So for 15 minutes, no condition is there, but for 10 minutes condition is there. We have navigation aids, and with the help of that, we are able to determine frequent position and speed of both aircraft. Here 5 minutes and 3 minutes are not applicable, not allowed. Then climbing and descending same track aircraft. So here 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, but 3 minutes is not permitted. So we will discuss all these three. For 15 minutes, right side if you will see, there are two aircraft, blue and pink. They are 15 minutes apart, they are longitudinally separated. Now the pink aircraft will commence a level change from flight level 100 to 120. So once it will leave flight level 100 and it will reach flight level 120, by that time there is no vertical separation, but it will be ensured that these two aircraft are always 15 minutes apart. Then the second condition where minimum separation is of 10 minutes, that we have some aid, navigation aid, which is permitting us for frequent determination of position and speed of the both aircraft. And while level change is commenced. So in all these conditions, while climbing and descending, one aircraft has to maintain a level. So blue aircraft is shown with maintaining a level, flight level 110. So one aircraft has to maintain a level. Second aircraft will be 15 minutes or 10 minutes apart. If it is 10 minutes apart, we have navigation aids which are allowing us position reports and speed of the both the aircraft that they are always 10 minutes apart. Then in third condition, it's a 5 minutes. It's a very interesting one. So it states that the pink aircraft, the second aircraft, has to commence a level change provided the pink aircraft and blue aircraft are 5 minutes apart, and the blue aircraft has reported a VOR, and the level change is commenced within 10 minutes of the time the blue aircraft has reported over the VOR. So suppose if any VOR is there en route and aircraft is overflying it, and it takeoff departure has happened below that aircraft. So in this case, we can utilize these sort of separations. Then climbing and descending, crossing tracks. 15 minutes, no condition. 10 minutes, again, with condition that we have navigation aid, which is permitting frequent determination of position and speed. Then reciprocal tracks. In reciprocal tracks, here, they are not deemed to be longitudinally separated until they have crossed each other and they are 10 minutes apart. So before there is a common point at which they will be going to reach. So 10 minutes before first aircraft and 10 minutes the second aircraft reaches there. So by that time we have to apply a vertical separation. But once they have crossed and they are 10 minutes apart, so you can simply give climb and descent. So how you will be going to ensure it? By position reports or by ATS surveillance methods or by visual sighting, and both aircraft are reporting that they have visually crossed each other, but during daytime only. Now we will discuss, we have discussed time-based separation. We will be going to discuss now distance-based separation. So first, same level, same track, 20 nautical miles. So it simply says if two aircraft maintaining same level, suppose flight level 200, 200, both aircraft, first and second aircraft, and they are 20 nautical mile apart, then they are deemed to be laterally separated. But this 20 nautical mile will be ensured every time. Then the second is saying that further we can reduce 20 nautical mile to 10 nautical mile. But here also, like in the previous condition for 10 minutes, we have means available which will make sure that this minimum will not be infringed. So in this particular case, the leading aircraft is always 20 knots or more faster than the succeeding aircraft. Now same cruising level and crossing tracks. Whatever we have discussed earlier for same cruising level and same track, 20 nautical mile and 10 nautical mile is applicable here, provided the second aircraft should not come from the shaded portion. It should not approach the first aircraft from the shaded portion. Then climbing and descending, same track. Here 10 nautical mile will be ensured while vertical separation does not exist. One aircraft has to maintain a level. Then reciprocal track, both aircraft have crossed each other, and after crossing they are 10 nautical mile apart, then they are deemed to be longitudinally separated. Then only you can commence level change. And before that, you have to apply vertical separation. Now longitudinal separation with Mach number technique based on distance using area navigation. So minimum longitudinal separation between turbojet aircraft on same track at same level or aircraft are climbing or descending, it's 10 minutes. And while we are applying 10-minute separation, the preceding aircraft has to maintain a true Mach number equal to or greater than what is being maintained by the following aircraft. So suppose we have already discussed that 10-minute separation is required and the preceding aircraft will maintain a higher Mach number than the succeeding aircraft. So if we don't have 10 minutes, this 10 minutes can be further reduced to 9, 8, 7, 6, and 5. But the preceding aircraft has to fly with a Mach number faster than the succeeding aircraft. So what will be that number? So suppose if we have 9 minutes of separation, then this Mach number will be 0.02 faster. If it is 8-minute separation between two aircraft, then we have to make sure that our preceding aircraft is 0.03 Mach number faster than the succeeding one. So likewise, if we have 5 minutes only between preceding and succeeding aircraft, so we have to make sure that our preceding aircraft is 0.06 faster than the succeeding aircraft. Then longitudinal separation with Mach number technique based on distance using area navigation, same level, same track. So instead of 10-minute separation, we can also apply distance-based separation, and here it is 80 nautical miles. So two aircraft are following each other, same track, same level. They are 80 nautical mile apart. They are separated. Provided the common waypoint is located ahead of them on same track, and distance, we are checking separation between the aircraft at same level is by obtaining simultaneously RNAV distance reading from the aircraft at frequent intervals. Why frequent intervals? To ensure that this minimum of 80 nautical mile will not be infringed. Then for climbing and descending aircraft, again 80 nautical mile, and one aircraft has to maintain a level. Common waypoint will be ahead of both aircraft, and we will be going to take simultaneous readings from this common point to ensure that 80 nautical mile will not be infringed while vertical separation is not available between these two aircraft during climbing and descending phase. Reciprocal tracks. So during once they are approaching each other, we have to apply a vertical separation, and once they have crossed each other and we have make sure that they are 80 nautical mile ahead, so at that time we can give climb and descent to these two aircraft, and they are deemed to be longitudinally separated. Now longitudinal distance based separation minima in RNP or RNAV environment where we are not using ADS-C. So separation minimum is minimum 50 nautical mile for RNP 10. Direct controller pilot communication is available. We don't have surveillance, but we have procedural position reports, and we are verifying distances at least every 24 minutes. So while applying distance-based separation, if considerable change of level is involved, then ATC will clear a descending aircraft to some convenient level above the lower aircraft. Similarly, he will clear a climbing aircraft to some convenient level just below the higher aircraft. To permit a further check on the separation that will be maintained while vertical separation will not exist. During the application of the 50 nautical mile separation, if aircraft fails to report its position, then air traffic controller shall take action within 3 minutes to establish communication with that aircraft. Now we will discuss about separation when the aircraft is departing from a runway. This separation will be applied by aerodrome control tower. Minimum separation between departing aircraft, 1 minute separation. If aircraft are fly on tracks which are diverging by at least 45 degrees immediately after takeoff, so that lateral separation is provided. So if it is ensured that the first aircraft is taking runway heading and second is turning left or right, and it is diverging by 45 degrees immediately after takeoff, so they are deemed to be longitudinally laterally separated. However, in certain cases, this 1 minute separation can be further reduced if suppose we are using parallel runway or opposite direction runway, and here immediately after takeoff, the lateral separation is achieved. However, it is the responsibility of pilot in command to decide that he wants to take off from the opposite runway or he wants to wait for takeoff in a preferred direction. Then 2 minute separation. If our preceding aircraft is 40 knots or more faster, then aerodrome control tower can release the second departure after 2 minutes of first takeoff. 5 minute separation. So in this case, if a departing aircraft will be thrown through the level of preceding departing aircraft and both aircraft are proposed to follow the same track, then 5 minute separation is required. So in this, first aircraft has took off and second aircraft will took at 5 minutes or later to ensure that 5 minutes minimum will not be infringed, and the second aircraft will climb through the level of first aircraft.
Like and subscribe and press the bell icon to get new video updates.